beat.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Christian. Just wanted to hop on here and do a quick video about journaling and how to do it effectively, and kind of what the benefits are from journaling and things like that. Okay, so I want to share with you guys my layout, and then I'll also share an alternative if you guys don't have access to something like this, right? So basically, how I do my journaling every week, I basically have all the days outlined up to Saturday. I have a summary section, right, where I basically do all my pre-market analysis, my night before analysis, any predictions that I feel like will play out, outlining any higher time frame points of interest, different things like that. I have feelings during the trade, after the trade, and then what went well, right? What I need to improve on, and just anything that I feel like I need to be aware of. I have a section where I grade my psychology and kind of just touch on how I'm feeling in that moment. I have all my assets that I follow. Got DXY, GU, EU, NAS, and S&P. Right. I also have a section where I follow some crosses sometimes. Right. If say none of these are showing any setups, or I just don't like the market, maybe there's something going on. I'll elect to go and check these markets out. I also have a section for plays of the week, right? So as I go through the week and find setups and different things that I liked or I feel was useful, I pull them into the plays of the week, and then so I could study those back to back, kind of see how each opportunity led to the next, right? How one in relation to the other basically looks, right? Stuff like that. So I also have a section where I do all my fundamental analysis, things like that. I have, I put the news as well. I also follow interest rate markets and, different things like that. I have a little thing here for basically information on earning seasons and different dates and stuff that I need to keep track of, as well, right? Seasonalities and stuff like that. So it's very simple how I have things laid out. And I'll be diving into an alternative as well if you guys can't get your hands on something like this. Having something like this isn't necessary. But I just, for my taste, this is what I wanted. So yeah, so Saturdays also I wanted to touch on. I have reflection times, right, where I basically assess what my performance during the week, right? Like what was my performance like, right? Did I follow my rules? Did I follow my risk management correctly, right? Um, and as you can see, I didn't mention anything about wins or losses in that discussion, right? Because you can't or you shouldn't rate your performance on whether you won or lost, because that's when things get emotional. You know what I mean? So what you're going to want to do is consider rating your performance based on how well you followed your rules, how well you followed your risk management, right? How well did you execute when you saw your model or whatever it may be forming, right? How well did you execute on that? Were you hesitant? All these things you want to document and make sure you're keeping track of, because you'd be surprised at the little mistakes that continuously happen that lead to non-favorable results. You know what I mean? So so yeah, that's kind of the things that I include. A way to save time, because I know that a lot of people have either have businesses or they have kids, or they just have a job that takes most of their time. What you want to do is just find an area in your life that you can make time for it. Like this doesn't take too long. All you got to do is screenshot the different time frames, go from the higher to the lower time frames, right? I have 4 screenshots here from this day, right? So I got it from the daily to the 4 hour, daily 4 hour, 1 hour, and then 15 minute. Sometimes I go lower than that. Sometimes I have more. Sometimes I have less. Like I have more over here. But essentially that's what you want to do, because you want to keep track of what each time frame is doing and the relationship that they have with each other at those current moments, right? Not only just screenshotting setups that played out, but you got to look and see what the higher time frame looks like, right, in that same moment, so you can really get the benefit from, understanding, or the benefit from having clarity when you're journaling, some like journaling stuff in this way. Okay, so yeah, so this is basically my example, right? And what I do on a weekly basis. So I know some people aren't gonna have access to something like this. So I have an alternative that I share with some students of mine. And basically, the way that I tell them to organize, if they can't get a hold of something like that, or say the one I send doesn't cooperate with their computer, you know what I mean? I basically tell them to do things like this: go to a Discord server, make your own private Discord server. You know, don't invite anybody to it, because anything you put in your journal, it should be very personal and about you and your journey, your struggles, your successes, and things like that. It's better on psychology too. You know what I mean? So yeah, so how I have this organized and how I share with people, that are trying to journal, that don't have access to one, right? Basically, you just organize it in this way, basically the same as what I just showed you guys in the journal that I have, but you just do it for Discord, right? You make the different sections. This is like a template that I like to use, right? Because it's just got everything, right? It's got difficulties, questions. There's a reason that those are at the top, by the way, because difficulties, right, are the things that you're going to want to pay attention to, because those are the mistakes that are going to mess things up, that you got to get a hold of, right? Questions, of course, as you're studying, you're going to have questions, and sometimes we think of a question, we don't get the answer, and we move forward with it, right, even though we didn't get the answer, and that's a problem. You got to be able to get your questions answered, um, you know, as they come, because if you don't, you're going to just have holes in your knowledge, you know what I mean? And you just, especially when people are just trying to learn too quick, like that's a very common thing. People are trying to learn way too quickly and absorb all kinds of information. Like in a week, they go through 50 videos or whatever, or they go through a whole course in 20 minutes, right? Or however quick they be doing it, and then they wonder why they can't get the results in a live market or even in a demo, because things take time, and doing things like this speeds up the process. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's kind of dive into this. So you can see aha moments, motivation, goals, daily study journal for your daily setups, kind of like I had over there in my other example, like with this, right? Let's go back. So then you got your trading plan section, right? You could put your current trading plan. That's also, something to keep in mind. It's always going to be changing. Once you get your idea, right, of your trading plan, you get things in alignment, right? You'll be able to, make edits whenever you feel like is necessary. And as you grow, you're going to make improvements on your stuff. You know what I mean? Like, your level of understanding right now is not going to dictate the trader you're going to become later down the line, once you get through some of the struggles and things like that, right? And get those aha moments, right? Your trading plan development notes, right? So say you're watching a video about a trading plan, or you're just learning about one, and you just want to take notes, so you have a structured way to outline your current trading plan, right? Also, there's a section for note taking, right? YouTube playlists, or whoever you're learning from, right? Whatever videos you're watching, the more organized you are, the better your learning process is going to become, right? So you could put any sections for the videos that you're watching, or the playlists that you're watching. um, I highly recommend you have a psychology section as well. In this section, you can, like, reflect on your own current psychology, right? You can really reflect and take notes, and just all around grow, because that's what it's going to take. You got to understand yourself, right? Trading is is a very personal thing, you know, and if you don't understand yourself, or you act like you already know everything and you should be successful, the market's going to humble you, as you know, just as quick as that thought came into your mind. You know what I mean? So taking psychology is very, very serious, right? Taking psychology serious is very serious, right? But yeah, so I have a section for the assets you're trying to follow as well. Do some, you know, with your back testing, you always want to have somewhere that you can put it, right? That's organized and not scattered all over, so you can reflect on them on like Saturdays, like I do, right? I use Saturdays for my reflection times, like I said, and it'll serve you well to start doing that, right? So you have those sections, have wins and losses as well, and fundamental analysis, right? With like the news, like the way that I do it over here. I have the news. That's how you would basically do it in the Discord, right? So yeah, I hope that helps some of you guys that kind of, you know, don't understand journaling or why it's important. Just understand that journaling and having a trading plan is it's basically what's required if you're trying to have a trading business, because that's what it is. Trading is a business, right? Journaling is like bookkeeping, okay? And having a trading plan is like having your business plan, right? And you got to refine both of those, okay, and get better at both of those, because that's what's required. You know, you got to keep in mind that the market doesn't care about your lazy habits, if you have any, right? It doesn't care, right? And it doesn't reward laziness, right? You got to come into this marketplace prepared. Okay. It's like going to war, because that's what this is. This is a financial battlefield, right? Every dollar you put in the marketplace is a soldier. So it should be treated as such, right? You got to have your soldiers prepared, or they're just going to get slaughtered, you know? So, just a perspective to keep in mind about journaling, because 90% of people fail in trading because of things like this being neglected. Okay. Most people just look at buy and sell indicators and all that, right? And it's just, you know, it's deeper than that. Okay. And most people, like I said at the beginning, most people will grade their performance based on wins and losses, when in reality, that doesn't even matter. Okay. Because no moment is the same in the marketplace. And if you lost a trade last week or the other day, that doesn't have any indication that your model is not going to perform on the next opportunity. Of course, if it's a good model, right, that you've seen and back tested and saw that it's worked, right? So just some things to keep in mind. You know, I hope this kind of helps some of y'all out. Like I said, if y'all don't have time or whatever the case may be, you got to find time to make time. You know, you have to find time to make time, because if you're trading, just pushing buy and sell and not documenting anything, you're wasting your time. You know, how are you supposed to improve on something you can't track? And you can't track your progress and stuff just based on wins and losses. You know what I mean? Like that's such a minuscule portion of things, you know? So, you know, just think about your view on how, you know, how passionate you are about this. If you truly want to make this work, understand that there is a success fee, okay? And that fee requires sacrifice. It requires doing certain things like this, okay? And, you know, just taking things serious, right? And being patient, right? Getting yourself around the right people, right? The right information, okay? And developing habits that are going to push you towards your goals, okay, within trading, right? Being, you know, look at trading through a professional lens, you know, and if that's something you got to work on, you got to document that and understand that and grow from that. You have to be honest with where you're at, you know, because a lot of people just sit here and lie to themselves, and, you know, things just turn into disaster because they're trying to go too quick, or they just saw a video and they got hyped up, and, you know, whatever the case may be. And then they go in not doing any journaling, not having any type of risk plan, not having any trading plan. And then they just start thinking trading is just, you know, impossible. And it's truly not. Okay. You know, we show that constantly. ICT shows that. Many other traders show that. It's completely possible. So it's just a matter of what you're doing personally, right? What you see other successful traders do that are actually proven successful and can prove things, what you see them doing or referring for you to do, highly suggest that if the things you're doing right now are not working, that you start trying other people's processes. Don't bounce around from strategy to strategy, but things like this, right? These specific things like journaling and professionalism and making the sacrifice, being patient, all these things are required for success in this industry. Okay. And like I said earlier, please keep in mind that have the view of the marketplace being a battlefield, because that's what it is. One person has to lose for another to gain. So if you're not prepared, there's someone else preparing, right? If you're not working on your model, someone else is. So just keep that on your mind. Just try to figure out what you can sacrifice, right? Like for example, if you say go out every weekend, if you watch Netflix constantly, if you play video games all day long, right, and are making the excuse you don't have time, then you're just shooting yourself in the foot and proving to your subconscious mind that this doesn't matter to you, as much as you say it does. If your actions don't follow that, then you're just fooling yourself, right? And I could sit here and sugarcoat things and be like, yeah, it's just so easy, blah blah blah. It's only easy when you're prepared, and even then you still have hardships that you got to mentally be prepared to deal with, which is why psychology is so important. You know what I mean? So there's a reason that these things are talked about, psychology and journaling and things of that matter, right? There's a reason that those are talked about, not just because you got to just do extra work, right? It's because there's results tied to that type of activity and that type of sacrifice. So yeah, so I hope this insight kind of helps you guys. If you have any questions, concerns, comments on some topics, if you have any ideas for other topics, if you're struggling with something, please leave that down in the comments section. I'd be happy to, touch on some stuff and help you guys out in any way I possibly can, because that's why I have this channel, basically. You know what I mean? Like, I made this channel just to be able to share my insights to those that are willing to listen, and just some serious traders. I want to have a community of traders that actually want to win, that actually have the same passion that we have at WMGFX. So but yeah, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Get ready for another crazy week in the markets. And like I said, if you guys have any questions or anything that you guys want to talk about or have me address in a video, feel free to put that in the comment section down below. All right, so I'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Dave, you made this beat.